And we're live.
And we're live.
Hello.
That's gonna fuck me up.
That's gonna fuck me up.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
No, you're fine. It's not your fault.
No, you're fine. It's not your fault. It's technology.
So welcome everybody to
So
this week in
welcome everybody
gymnastics.
to this week in gymnastics.
Thank you, Adex.
Thank you, Adex.
So this week we decided we were going to do like
that's
messing me up.
That's messing me up.
A week in review of the gymnastics that happened this week and a pretty big event that happened yesterday.
Yes.
So you have some housekeeping to deal with first, though.
Oh yeah. So housekeeping. Okay. I just hear myself in your echo. But housekeeping. So we're just a little surprised because Christmas came early. I have figured out a way to make the broadcast available for everybody for free afterwards. So hey, Doof. So during NCAA season, I know a lot of international fans don't get a chance to see the streams live, and before we have to sub to be able to watch them. Not that I don't appreciate the sub, but I see much more importance in allowing viewers to see the meets whenever they can, and that, especially because Big Ten sucks. Thusly, any competitions that we'll be streaming during NCAA, you guys will be able to watch for free whenever you guys want, at your own disposal, on your own viewing pleasure. And so I'll be starting with Northern European Championships the day after Thanksgiving and that weekend. So there's that. 2. I think that's it.
Well, so I'm gonna mute.
Oh, shout out to
talking
UCLA for
like,
getting
chunk.
To UCLA. What'd you say?
Jordan.
UCLA. What was that?
Tiana, Jordis, Nola, and Ava Marie Callahan.
We're doing bad at recruiting. So.
One more time.
So as is my job to read documents and tell you what they say, I'm going to talk to you about the Russians, because the Russians are coming, although I don't think they are. So the first thing I want to say about this document is that there are a lot of people who are like, think that this is not that this is fig rolling over to the Russians. And I got to tell you, if you have a mind to read bureaucracy, this document screws the Russians so badly, it's kind of unbelievable. And Doof, yes, we're aware there's an echo and we have no idea why, because it's the same setup we've been using forever.
Yeah, so
we're just gonna have to mute each other when we can. So anyway, the thing to know, basically they've used bureaucratic language, basically give the Europeans everything they want. And it also reads a whole lot like whoever wrote this document knows the games that the Russians have been playing with all the other sports feds. So like there's a bunch of language in there that directly deals with things they did before. So I'm going to sort of go through a quick review of what the rules are. So no association with the army or the police or anything that has sponsorships. For the including social medias, and there is no exception language for minors, so that takes out Listinova. And if the way the neutrality language is written is once you are an authorized neutral, you can't associate yourself in your social media with the Russian flag, symbols of the Russian state. And if you use your a medal that you won at the competition, or even the fact that you were at a competition for propaganda purposes afterwards, they will nullify your results. So you can't win a medal and take it back to Putin and have Putin celebrate it as a win for Russia, because that result will then be nullified. That's the sort of games that Putin played with some of the world championships they've been allowed to be in. And I'm going to go through now what all the rules for how you get to be a neutral are, because some of them are wild. So first of all, you have to apply for neutral status 60 days before the competition you want to enter. This is a big, big deal. Actually, it's not 60 days before the competition. It's 60 days before the definitive deadline for registration for the competition. So the definitive deadline for any FIG competition is typically 2 months before the competition. 60 days before any of the World Cups except for Doha has already passed. There will be no Russians at 3 of the 4 Olympic qualifying World Cups. And you cannot get Olympic qualifying with only 1 World Cup.
So that means yours are out.
The only path the Russians can realistically take to get to the Olympics is through Euros all-around qualifying. But let me get to that later. So the Russians are effectively down to 1 gymnast in Paris per discipline, maybe. So the other thing to know about this neutrality registration is FIG is not going to act on your application until you've paid the fee. And paying the fee these days is kind of hard because no one is banking with Russia. So at some point, you've got to find some way to pay FIG some money. And they don't say how much money. And they're not going to start your application until then. And if they deny your application, you can only appeal to the Court of Arbitration of Sport. But if the Court of Arbitration of Sport decides to take your case, FIG is not going to suspend their ruling while that ruling is happening at CAS. So you still can't compete until CAS rules. And if CAS takes its time and your time runs out before that competition, tough luck for you. So that's one part of this. So they've made it extremely hard to apply. And they've set deadlines that mean that most of the Paris qualifying opportunities are gone already. Doha got moved, but it has nothing to do with the Russians. The people in Doha double booked that arena. There's a swimming world championship that is in that arena at the same time the FIG World Cup was going to be. So they had to move it. The next thing about this process, besides all of this, like how you have to apply, is FIG has said if you can't get to the competition because someone hasn't given you a visa, tough luck. They will not punish any host who denies you a visa. They will not make any changes to the competitions if you can't attend. So if, say, Italy, who is hosting Euros, decides to deny you a visa, you don't go to the Olympics.
That's intense.
So, worth knowing. So Italy has a prime minister who is very pro-Ukraine right now, and there is a reasonable chance that they won't get a visa there. Rhythmic Euros is in Hungary, and they're absolutely going to give Russians a visa. So there's that. So you have all of these very, very strict neutrality rules. If you do something at the arena that is intended to disrupt any other competitor or like the competition or bring ill repute, you're out. And they can cancel your neutrality at any time. So this is about something that happened at fencing worlds, where a Ukrainian and a Russian, or a neutral Russian, had the Ukrainian beat the Russian and refused to shake her hand. The Ukrainian was an Olympic contender, and had been told previously that she could just tap sabers with the Russian, and the Russian protested unsportsmanlike. There's a whole thing. So this is basically, don't think you can screw the Ukrainians by provoking them at a competition. So that's what that is about. So I want to get to the petty thing about this, because there is a fashion pettiness in all of this. So in these rules, there is a bunch of specificity about what your uniform can be. So you must wear a solid light blue leotard and singlet. Mags get white pants. Gymnasts get white apparatus. I'm sure you can put crystal, but you have to approve your leotard with fig. And I'm just amused that they're making them basically wear solid blue.
Why solid blue?
Why solid blue?
That's fig's color.
Oh yeah, it's a red and blue, right?
It's a red and blue, right?
Well, no, fig is like white and blue, which is why it's white and blue. But and you have to clear your music through fig to make sure you're not doing some secret Russian music. So they've also banned both the Russian flag and any historic flags from venues. So the way some spectators have been getting around this was they would bring Soviet flags to wave. So no Russian flags, no historical flags, nothing that indicates this. So basically, the way that people who have dug into this think, the current Russian mag all-around champion probably qualifies. He is not affiliated with an army club. He's young and he hasn't said any. I don't know his name. I can see your gears.
I'm like,
but he hasn't said anything. And he's been beating all of the assholes. So that's somebody who might show up. Listinova being out, Melnikova being out. I think you have to go like a dozen deep in the Russian championships all around to find somebody on the WAG side who qualifies.
What's to do with Simakova?
I don't know. But I mean, partly the problem is that a lot of the Russian WAGs are associated with a club called Dynamo that has affiliations with the state.
You post something about her being a German.
Oh no, that's a rhythmic thing. When we'll get to, I'll get to her when we get to the stuff from this week.
Okay.
So anyway, so like I said, this looks like they're letting the Russians in, but I want to emphasize to people that they're letting them in because they kind of had to with the IOC, and it's not the strictest set of neutrality conditions I've seen from a sports fed, because the swimming people went even stricter, but this is pretty damn strict, and it's written to screw them. Like, this has the Europeans written all over it.
So I mean, it's
like someone had Watanabe's like naked pictures or something because they got him to do what they wanted.
That's intense.
I'm just amused by the idea of the blue uniforms.
Yeah. So it's just like solid blue.
Could you solid blue? It says in the rules, it says it has to be light blue in color, and the only symbol on it can be AIN or ANI, which is the abbreviation they're going to use for these people. Like I said, I bet you can have crystals on it, but can you imagine a rhythmic leotard that is a solid color, even if it has crystals on it?
I'm almost inclined to design something for them. Just so it's not ugly.
Like I said, it has to be a light blue in color with no symbols on it except for and
I'll figure something out.
Yeah, anyway, I don't want
them to look bad.
If any gymnasts from non-Russia Federation also post in support of Russia, are they similarly restricted?
So Belarus, everything I just said applies to Belarus too. Nothing else applies to anybody else. This is just like, if say there's an former Argentine rhythmic gymnast who's now with one of the Central Russian republics who trains in Russia, and she says a lot of things. She could say what she wants to say.
Chinese gymnast perhaps.
Yeah, the Chinese gymnasts can say whatever they want to say. I mean, it's not about your speech. It's about the Russian state is not supposed to be here. And it's supposed to be a way for athletes not to be punished for what the state is doing. And the problem is all of these rules are written because the Russians have done things. Like, it's not like all of these rules came out at random. They all, like, somebody, there's a way that people talk about safety regulations are written in blood. Every one of these things, other than the 60 days before the definitive deadline thing, that's petty and screwing them. But everything else in here is to address something the Russians have pulled.
Place of game with surprises.
Yeah, I mean, I have complicated feelings about Listinova being screwed because, that thing was when she was a minor. But on the other hand, if you tell the Russians that you're not going to punish minors for propaganda they had when they were under 18, that just means that they'll use minors in propaganda all the time.
Like they're doing now with Nikita.
Yeah. So you kind of have to say it doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah. Well. One more time.
Now can we move on to something happier, because what we have this week was tumbling and trampoline worlds, and I have a list of the best of that. And there was the Bundesliga rhythmic finals, and that had a shit ton of the best rhythmic gymnasts in the world right now. And so we're gonna watch some routines. They're gonna be Olympic medalists in these routines from the Bundesliga. So
Also, speaking of Bundesliga,
I saw Heath competed.
Yeah.
And then some other guy who does a lot of like videos of himself doing like women's gymnastics.
Yeah.
Competes in the two.
Yeah, they love him. I mean,
I was very surprised.
I mean, if you don't have the feeling that men's gymnastics has to be manly.
But what is manlier than a Switch league?
Yeah.
Come on now.
So why don't we start the playlist? And I want to just say up front, the thing that watching the Tumbling Worlds taught me is that everything at Tumbling Worlds is more exciting than the thing that's in the Olympics. Individual trampoline is the most dull of the events they do.
Keep going.
So anyway,
keep going.
Because I know you have something to say.
Can we please replace Indie Tramp with Double Mini Trampoline, because that's so much better?
And can we please, as fans of gymnastics, support other gymnastics disciplines?
Oh yeah. So when we get to the section on the actual tumblers, I got into a fight on Twitter with someone who insisted that the tumbling. So I posted somebody who has the world record for the highest difficulty women's tumbling pass, and someone replied with, "That looks easy. A wag could learn that pretty fast." And when I tried to point out that tumbling runs in tumbling have a completely different technique than tumbling runs in wag, they're like, oh, they could learn the technique. No. So when we get to watching the actual tumbling runs, I want you to tell the audience why it's different than.
And I do know why.
Than artistic.
This I do know why.
So anyway, okay. I figured you would, but anyway. So we're gonna start So we're starting with Double Mini Trampoline, and this is from the team event, and this was the highest score in the women's team Double Mini Tramp.
So good.
So she got 4th in the individual medal rounds. So you want to land in the red box. You get no landing deductions if you land in the red box. If you land in the yellow box, you get a certain amount off. If you land in the blue box, you get more off. And they can't move for, I think it's 5 seconds after they land.
Oh, this is good. Oh,
I cried.
Okay. So this is Gracie Harder. She'll win a bronze medal here. It includes all of the stuff that I put on Twitter. So she is hilarious. So she apparently can't see the scoreboard.
Oh my god.
And so she's gonna try and pretend to see her score, and a hilarious thing happens.
I was surprised to see that they use Leo's artistic.
They've done that for a few years, and I kind of like it. Those are expensive Leos. And yeah, she can't see the score. So she's like, oh, my score came up. I'm going to wander away.
Gymnasts are just like us.
Gymnasts are just like us.
I wonder if she wears glasses or.
Oh, she has to.
Oh, she has to.
You know she does.
You know she does.
It just reminds me of Rebecca saying that she doesn't like to be able to see the beam.
My God.
Wild.
So,
oh, this is the one?
Oh, this is the one?
So, these finals happened in 2 rounds. So that was her first round, and this is her second round.
Oh. And it's been 49 years.
49 years, right?
What do you mean?
Since the American
Since
woman has
the American woman
podium?
has what podium?
I don't know. I did not pay attention to that.
Or that might have been just Tramp.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the Tramp because I did get stuff for that.
Okay.
But I mean, guys, you have to support this.
Like,
look at the
These are
emotion.
gymnasts.
the emotion of the gymnastics.
And like, this is stuff you can understand. But yeah, I'm glad they gave them the same Leos as artistic. I feel like that says you're not lesser than.
Mhm.
And the Americans are so sparkly compared to like everyone else.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so she's still losing her mind.
Oh, this one.
I love this one.
So this is the eventual silver medalist. I love what her hair does, by the way.
Yes.
So she actually hits the side of the trampoline bed, and there was sort of debate here.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the rules used to be that if you touched the blue on the trampoline, then it didn't count. But now they look at it and see if you've used the actual bed of the trampoline for your repulsion.
Oh, wow.
I watched way too many really uncomfortable people going through the side of a trampoline this weekend. It did not look good.
Didn't someone get hurt?
There were several injuries, and I am told tumbling and trampoline often have some of the worst injuries.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the worst one, Fig actually delayed putting up the competition and cut the injury out.
Oh, great for them.
So you're not going to accidentally see someone do bad things to their shin. However, if someone tries to show you a Greek gymnast doing double mini trampoline, a man, do not watch it. Because you know there's sick fuckers who try to make people watch injuries.
Yeah.
So she's going into the final. Basically, these are 8 gymnasts, and they cut the top 4 to the second round. And so this is her second round. And Harder is also losing her mind.
The pressure in these finals is phenomenal. It's so easy to make a mistake. It is so easy to go left, right, back, forward,
spot, and then you can't take off, or your dismount flies off. Holding it together.
Dismount.
Boys to go next is like the Americans are running in front of me. Adex, you're sinking out of frame in your faces.
I know. I'm back.
On Twitch.
I know. I'm back.
We're good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So I love how she keeps landing with her hair all on her face.
I know. That is a high pony.
So is this blue leotard now the lucky leotard?
I mean, you kind of have to say it is.
Yeah. So, and Harder and her just dance and dance and dance. And when we get to the eventual gold medalist, there's still going to be like characters in this show. So they're very happy.
Rightfully so.
So this is the medalist, Spanish woman to win a medal of any kind in this. And she's winning on difficulty, by the way.
I know that's right.
So that was her first round run.
Wow.
Look at her. Like, their pike shapes are so good.
And the distance. This is beautiful.
Like, how is this not the Olympic sport?
Right. Is there
So we're now
execution out of 20?
I do not remember. I think it is. So this is her second round. Remember, the Americans have just gone batshit in front of her. I love her reaction too.
She's like,
Was that enough?
She looks a little bit like Gadarova.
A little. I could see it.
Beautiful.
So apparently there was some debate about the shape of her first skill. And apparently what they did is they gave it straight and deducted for tuck because of when it tucked in the air, apparently.
Okay, I can see that. And we talked about them in the stand.
Yeah, so she had the lowest execution, but the highest difficulty.
So Michaela Skinner.
I think she had to go high difficulty to beat the Americans.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Americans are still going to be actors in this play. So her coach is strong. And the Americans know that they were beat fair and square. So that was, I think, the best final of.
I just love camaraderie like that.
So now we're just gonna watch Ruben Padilla do Ruben Padilla things. Padilla, sorry. I am Anglo.
Incredible. Do you say I'm Anglo?
Yeah, I'm Anglo. So apparently he is the only person in the world who's ever gotten over a 30 on mini tramp. and he just kept getting them. He's basically unbeatable for Adex. And you'll have seen like people talk about how he hadn't trained on double mini trampoline in so long. That's because he's trying to go to the Olympics and he has to do it on big tramp that he's not very good at. Or he's good at it obviously because he's an elite gymnast, but like
He's incredible.
He's incredible.
he is not as good on big tramp as he is on.
Okay, I love these U.S.
So
men's.
Americans win the men's double. And the next thing is his actual so this is his final.
I love that singlet.
Like, he goes so high and his shapes are so defined. He's like if Simone and a was combined with a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a Lhasa
He's like a Lhasa Apso.
Like he's doing the most difficulty and the highest execution. And there was just no question anytime he got near a double mini tramp this weekend.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Did the artistic men have that unitard?
What?
Did the artistic men have that unitard? I think that is the one Coif wore for event finals.
I mean, I think USAG is just using the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he only take a step once all weekend.
I'm sure that's at the end, like towards the end of everything.
I'm sure that's at the end, like towards the end of everything.
It was the very last thing he did.
Yeah, because I mean,
they have a team
yeah,
all
I mean,
around.
He must be tired.
They have a team all around where they have to do like where a team of everybody from our country does every apparatus.
And wow!
He took a step.
Oh wow!
So it's almost not worth showing you anybody else on double mini tramp. So this is the world record tying highest difficulty from a woman, and this is the one someone told me a WAG gymnast could do easily.
No.
So can you stop this and tell people this is not something a WAG gymnast can do easily?
Yeah, so go ahead and mute myself.
Yeah, so go ahead and mute.
Yeah, okay. So the reason that WAGs, it would be very difficult for them to learn. Not difficult, but just like it would take time, like at least a couple years. Not only are you like rebounding out of tumbling, essentially, but you're also on a rod floor, which is much different than a normal spring floor for gymnastics. Now, there are gyms, including, I believe, WC, that do have rod floors, but it's a very niche thing, and two, you only use that for like training a skill in artistic. You don't actually do that day in and day out. But I mean, they do have rod floors in many gyms. But yeah, no, it's in artistic, you're trying to like stick a landing, right? And you're not trying to rebound out of a skill. They're rebounding out of double layouts, out of triple pikes, it's just not. No. To think a WAG could do this easily is severely misunderstanding how like power tumbling works. Oh, I mean, Chelsea Memo said she wanted to try it.
So this is the silver medalist, and is a previous world champion.
Anything you want to add to that?
Watching all this, the hardest part is after you trick in the middle of the run, getting your momentum and your rhythm back immediately. Because if you don't, you'll stop in the middle of that track.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll lose like all of your momentum. Like it's the rebounding that is just not a skill in artistic.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think Simone couldn't learn it.
No, because she's Simone, but also it wouldn't be like immediately.
No. It would take years.
And
It would take years, at least.
And Simone has never had great landing control.
No.
And this is all about the control on after the skill. Someone on Twitter pointed out that there's a good Japanese man and did power tumbling, and he came in like 38th.
It's just a complete different set of physics.
And conversely, there's a world champion power tumbler Chinese gymnast who tried to do WAG, and she couldn't do the dance elements like
I remember that.
So I mean, they're different sports,
and for good reason. That is a full twisting double layout. Into full twisting.
Twisting the bike. Like.
But I mean, gymnasts do train on wide floors. But not at this capacity.
And apparently every rod floor is slightly different.
Yeah.
Even within the same brand.
Yeah.
So one of the big problems was
some are geared
to artistic, some are geared to
power tumbling.
Apparently one of the problems was even like you buy the same brand and you have to get used to that specific rod floor.
Mm-hmm. It's like the difference between Weller spring floor and a normal. Because you're not used to that.
Originally,
you're not used to that.
They were originally made with skis.
What?
Like ski. Imagine that whole run, a bunch of skis sideways, with a cover on top.
I can't.
Because skis are flexible.
Okay, I'm thinking snowboard.
Okay, let me think.
No, like downhill skis.
And it was just wide as hell? Wide
I mean,
with the D.
With the D.
It had a cover over top of it, but like that's apparently what it was. So
that's just silly.
So this is the French woman again. She's not going to do quite as high a difficulty as the first one we saw. But still, this is batshit insane.
I mean, they're completely different disciplines for a reason.
World Games last year, which it's not in the Olympics. That's their big thing.
Why is Artistica in World Games?
Why is Artistica in World Games?
I just think it's never been in it.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be like sports that aren't really highlighted in the Olympics.
Is cheer in that?
Is cheer in that?
I don't know. I mean, I know rhythmic is, but I think rhythmic was put in it before rhythmic was an Olympic sport.
Ooh.
So I like that leotard, and I don't think that's one the French are using for artistic.
It's not. It's
It's
beautiful.
not. It's beautiful.
Like the British, the Portuguese, the Americans were all using the same leotards, and the Spanish were all using the same leotards. And so she knows that she's just become world champion, so she is losing her shit. There's a lot of losing their shit.
And I lose my shit when someone else loses
I
their
lose
shit.
my shit when someone else loses their shit.
She apparently was sick during the championship.
Oh wow.
So
Oh wow.
like imagine rebounding
Beautiful.
out of that on a
That's
like
beautiful.
artistic floor. Like I think Allie or Simone could do this. Like Allie when she was like doing the Raceman pass.
Mhm.
But like easily that.
Well, didn't Chelsea Memo at one point say she wanted to try power tumbling?
Power tumbling?
I think she did. I mean, she was a good tumbler too. She like floor was not really like the artistic part of floor was not Chelsea's thing.
And Eminem does have a tumbling program.
Program.
One of the great lines about Chelsea when she was competing was a British commentator saying that she doesn't exactly ooze personality.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So this guy
And
is
this
insane,
beard.
and I'm in love
And
with
this
him.
beard.
I'm in love with everything but his beard.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So this is from the team competition, and he's about to win the first gold medal for Azerbaijan. And apparently he's had high difficulty for years, but been inconsistent, and he was super consistent at this Worlds.
So the double,
double,
a full twist and double
a
layout,
full twist and double layout,
And a triple.
1, 2,
1, 2, 3.
Nikita, eat your heart out.
Nikita, eat your heart out.
Yeah, I bet this guy could do mag floor. But mag floor is different than wag floor. Just the beard.
It's just very
It's
Amish.
just very Amish.
So this is the silver medalist from the individual tumbling event. Who has a very different build than US mag artistic guys.
Yeah.
That was a double A.
That was a double
full
A,
out,
full out,
full in
a
double
full
layout,
in double layout,
and then a double
and
right?
then a double right?
I believe so.
Oh, a triple double.
Oh, a triple double.
That's insane.
That's insane.
So they can't repeat a skill between these two runs, by
Two
the way.
rounds.
Oh, two rounds.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So like a lot of this weekend was people losing entire skills because a pike was called a tuck. And they had already done a tuck. Their whips are just so beautiful.
They are.
They are.
That like upside down Christ the Redeemer.
The stand-up position is
The stand-up position is also very incredible.
So he's gonna get a silver. And Amish guy is coming back. The Amish guy from Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan has not won a single gold medal before ever, and they are about to win 2 in one Worlds.
He's so fast.
He's so fast.
Like him and Padilla are like, and the French woman are the people I fell in love with here. So apparently one of the ways you can like really mess up a run is if your knees bend as you're trying to rebound out of one of these big skills.
Yeah.
You basically lose everything.
I mean the physics out.
Check out.
So his countryman who's sitting on the floor injured him in warm up and continued competing, but it did not look good.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, it wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
Something bad happened.
Yeah.
So I cut out. There was a whole inquiry that took forever from Australian who did not get his inquiry accepted. So this is his final run.
I'm just flabbergasted.
It's like a really good artistic pass where you're like, oh shit. I mean, every time someone is like, wants WAG to be more like MAG, I'm like, just go watch power tumbling. What you want is power tumbling.
That's insane.
That's insane. In the speed?
Like, that looks normal
Like,
time.
that looks normal time.
Yeah. And now, just look at his whips. And he's also losing his shit because everyone at this Worlds was losing their shit. So this is the gold medalists in synchronized trampoline, which is, again, more interesting than regular trampoline.
Yeah.
And not in the Olympics.
I thought they did have this in the Olympics.
I think it might be in the Olympics thing, or like you have to be there already. It's a weird thing. And in the Lucky Leo.
The Sunny Leo. My gosh.
I didn't even know that USAT was still using that Leo.
Right.
But hey, they're winning a gold medal at a world championship in that Leo, so it's still lucky.
It's rightful. Like, if you wear that Leo,
you don't win a gold medal,
you know.
Then you're Lian Wang.
Oh.
Sorry.
And Michaela Skinner.
So the U.S. women did win a Olympic quota spot, but it's non-nominative, so they'll have to be at trials. So this is double mini Ruben Padilla trying to get to the Olympics in tramp, and then he's going to win a silver in synchro here, but that doesn't do him any good to try and get to the Olympics. And the U.S. men did not get a quota spot yet.
Well, his partner sucks.
Well, actually, his partner is better than he is.
I don't
know.
See, Ruben is the one who's just gotten out of sync.
Oh, is Ruben? Wait, no.
No.
So Ruben was in the foreground.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was watching.
That's what I was watching, yeah.
So Ruben is the least good of the two of these, and he like his get to the Olympics is the other guy.
Oh. I think I made a mistake. I missed.
I think I made a mistake. I missed.
Yeah, Ruben.
I mean,
Get it together.
Ruben is still
Ruben, get it
good,
together.
but like, this is just not his specialty apparatus.
And I apologize. That was wrong.
And I apologize. That was wrong. He doesn't suck.
It's
They're just
not
they're not
it's not great.
they're not exactly well matched because of the height difference,
Yeah.
and that means that they have like slightly different speeds. See the goal next, and they're just it's so different. So one half of those was the world champion last year with a different partner.
Is it wrong that the
Is
traveling
it
irks
wrong
me?
that the traveling irks me?
It's a deduction.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
So they do the centering by robot now.
Oh.
And apparently the trampoline bounce is not as good at the edges of the trampoline anyway, but everyone travels. It's just trying to control the travel. But I literally saw people like apparently it's not an injury thing, but people like putting their leg through the springs of the trampoline. And it looked the comment that it wasn't. So this is the Olympic champion. She'll get silver here. So the next two routines are basically a preview of the Olympic final, I think. Her form is just so beautiful.
Wow.
Like, this is not my thing, but I understand its thing.
Yeah, you can respect it.
Yeah, you can respect it. Wow.
So I'm not showing you.
One more time.
Grow.
Okay.
Far ahead of everybody else. This is what I'm showing you.
I think I watched this one.
Yeah, so this
On
is
Twitter.
the several times now world champion. The British did really well at this world championship, and I don't think it's just because it was in England.
That was insane.
Yeah, so she and the Chinese gymnast are going to be fighting for that gold in Paris. I think that's going to be gold and silver between the two of them. So one last thing from TNT Worlds is I'm going to show you the men's gold medalist just because he's amazing. And then we're going to move on to something else. So China took gold and silver here, but we're just going to see the gold. China was nowhere to be seen in the other events, and I think it's just because they were prioritizing the Olympic event.
I hated trampolines.
I'm sorry.
It's watch.
No, like training on them. Like I can't get the physics down for it. Like
It just fucks me up.
My favorite thing about Tramp is watching the camera guys in the arena do the nodding thing.
Oh yeah, like
yeah, so he's amazing. He'll probably win a medal.
yeah, incredible.
This is China's thing.
It's just beautiful.
I am not going to try to explain trampoline Olympic qualifying because it is more complicated than both artistic and rhythmic.
Oh wow.
But I think because there are so few athletes who are qualifying that they had to make it complicated. Because there's only 16 women and 16 men. Yeah, so he is not losing his shit. Anyway, can we pause here for a second?
Yes.
So, as we're watching this, so this is the Bundesliga with rhythmic final. And what I want you to think about first is they just started this rhythmic league a few years ago because the Germans wanted to make rhythmic popular in their country. And think about what this looks like compared to what is being tried in the US. So these are all teams from existing clubs. Like one of the ones that is competing here has a major like football team. So all the fans of that like football team are going to be like, I'm going to go watch the handball team and the rhythmic team and whatever.
And support them.
Like,
And support them.
yeah. So they're using the existing framework of fan support for these teams. This is a team event, so they're not getting individual all-around scores. What they're doing here is a head-to-head, where like one team would put up somebody on clubs and the other team would put up somebody on clubs, and whoever scored the highest won. And it's a little complicated, but so that's it. You've got 4 or 5 of the top 10 in the all-around from Worlds competing here, including the current world champion and last year's world champion. And like, you don't see I'm not going to show you any of the crowd shots, but this is a packed arena. The production values, like the regular season meets are not quite this like slick because this is the final, but just think about what this looks like when you have a federation who is working with a club league to grow a sport.
Shade.
Yeah. So this is what that thing that is happening should look like and doesn't, because they think that they are doing something new. So anyway, this is an ex-Russian who has switched to Germany, and they blocked her competing for a year. So she did not switch of Viner's permission.
I'm gonna turn the music down.
A little bit.
Yes, I will get claimed.
Yeah. And believe it or not, this is 30% volume of the original video.
Wow.
I like turned down the volume on all of it. So she's a junior world champion. She can't compete internationally until March.
Has she qualified to Olympics?
So the Germans have qualified as many people as can be qualified in their non-nominative spots. So if Viner was trying to stop the Germans from qualifying more people to the Olympics, she failed. But it does mean that they're going to have, obviously, like Darja, I don't think is going to have a problem getting an Olympic spot, but the other German who got them a spot might be fighting with her. But Viner has let things go without protesting their country change. So I don't know what this girl has done. She's 19. What she did to Viner.
She's just better.
I think that might be it. So this is her ribbon. This is sort of more sexy than and this is when I was like, okay, how old is this person? Because this is fine since she's 19. But I'm not sure this routine would have been fine if she was like 15.
This is like dance moms.
Dance moms.
This is more Russian. You can tell she was trained in Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, the other German is good, but she's inconsistent. So it's gonna be a like thing.
Oh wow. I mean, she's slaying.
I would suspect he's going to be the second German at the Olympics.
Yeah.
The other German who won a spot is not in this final because, this is only a few teams. But
her control is next level.
But yeah, I think Finer her out of competing for Europe just because she's too good to have let go.
She's threatened.
Oh, shit.
So this is a Hungarian, and she is the best rhythmic Hungarian for apparently ever. And she is competing for Berlin. And has qualified for Paris.
She looks like Lumiere's girlfriend.
Her name is Fanny Prignitsky, and that does not seem like a real person's name. So she's
Fanny
dropped
Bryce.
the ball there.
Fanny Bryce.
It's the
Yeah, ball's
Prignitsky.
not really her
Yeah,
event.
ball's not really her event.
Yeah, I mean, she's got Sofia Kovacs energy.
Yeah.
She's clearly very good, but also
That was cool.
the thing I thought is that people are wearing like international colors and some are wearing like simpler ones, but the ones who are wearing the like fancy international ones, they've covered the flags with little pieces of aluminum
Really?
square because it's not an international thing. It's a like domestic team thing.
True. I mean, I love that Leo.
So remember, ribbon is like the balance beam of rhythmic.
Yeah.
But also, does this not like show you how far behind Pan Am's was?
Yeah.
She was like 11th in the world's all around. And she is so much better than everyone at Pan Am's.
Yeah. There's a stark difference.
So the people are in order of where they finished at Worlds, by the way. So we're gonna get better as we see them. But I grabbed the like international people who will be at the Olympics.
Now, have there been Americans?
In this has only been a thing in Germany for the last 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the Italians. She did not have a good Worlds, but is considered one of the medal contenders.
It's still Fanny.
Oh, so this, I thought I skipped to the next one. Yeah, so this is still Fanny, sorry. Berlin was using a lot of Fanny.
Ooh, and Fanny was
not using a lot of that.
Yeah, I think hoop is her best event. So some of these gymnasts are using new routines, and some are using like their old routines. And you'll spot the new ones because they're all using music in French.
Oh, because Paris.
Yep. there's like 4 or 5 French songs that were not at Worlds.
Fanny.
Yeah, I mean, she's got Sofia Kovacs energy.
Yeah.
You can see that she's good, but also it's also out of their worlds. Okay, so this is the Italian I was going to say. So she had a bad Worlds, but is considered a medal contender.
What do the years next to their names mean?
I think that's just numbers, like bib numbers.
Okay.
And those blocks are also giving scores for previous gymnasts, and
okay.
that's how they're reporting.
I'm trying to talk as much as I can.
Over this song.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's not your
No,
fault.
you're fine. You're fine. It's not your fault.
Yeah, this is the problem of trying to talk about rhythmic.
Yeah, rhythmic
Although,
is the
like,
rhythmic is the way.
but I mean, to be fair, YouTube did not copyright claim almost anything.
Really?
In these videos.
Really?
I think there were 2 songs that that it told me wouldn't be played in Russia, and that was about it.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I do not try to address it when they're like, "Oh, we won't show this in Russia."
Right.
So you can see she's slightly better than Fanny.
Yeah. Why is the mesh not
Sinclair Shield?
What?
The illusion
The illusion mesh is
a little bit darker.
Than she is.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of the French songs. So this is a new routine. The Italians are all about the like French songs.
I was actually thinking about this like on my trip.
From Lubbock.
I want Jordan to go back to
her.
Oh, what's happening?
It could be the original stream, by the way.
Okay.
Because there were issues in the original stream.
Yeah, Jordan deserves a better
routine.
I just think she wasn't in the gym enough this year to get a good routine set.
True.
So this is clearly a like Paris pandering routine.
Yeah.
And it will not be
Contrary to popular belief, you do not get extra point.
You do not, and the I don't know that the Parisian crowd is going to be super impressed.
No.
What is this?
What is this Italian who's dancing to French stuff to So her clubs is like crazy. Oh no, who is this one? So this is an Uzbek, and she came in 5th in the all around at Worlds. And let me look up what city. she So again, you're a fan of the sports team at this Franklin club, and you've got a built-in fan base, and they've got this is like the third top 10 gymnast in the world they've got in this arena, and we haven't even gotten to the 2 world champions. Like, this is how you do what the Giga people are trying to do.
Yeah.
I do wonder.
They have a big crowd.
If
If
Gigas
or whatever it's called
is wanting to compete with
international pro leagues.
That I hope not, because that looks like a joke.
Yeah.
But like, one of the things going on here is clearly the German gym fed decided they wanted to be a rhythmic power, and they got their German domestic league to play to it. So I mean, the 10 German rhythmic people were also competing here. But see, she's covering a flag on her.
Oh wow.
So Uzbek girl is not here getting like a cheap paycheck either.
How much did they get?
So imagine, like, if you had a pro league that had Simone and Rebecca and Melanie and, say, Newmar and one more person I'm trying to.
Gadarova.
Yeah. That's basically. I mean, this is last year's world champion.
Oh, Allie
and
Raisman,
I think.
Oh, Allie Raisman, yeah.
And she's either going to be like, either she or Darja are going to be the gold medalists, I think. Maybe one of the Bulgarians, but the Bulgarians do not seem to have good luck.
But you cannot tell me.
You cannot tell me this is not Allie Raisman.
I think that she has less neck muscle than Allie.
Oh yeah. But the face is there.
Yeah. So this is the one who's on the team that's also the big soccer team. So it kind of makes sense that they would go and hire world champion.
This music made me think of. You know they were making Wizard of Oz.
Oh God, some things don't need to be remade.
Well, the argument is that it's been
87 years.
Yeah, but they've remade that before, and it's always been bad.
I'm more looking forward to
Wicked.
Oh well. Yeah, that's Allie Raisman. What'd you say?
I think this is another French song.
Oh.
You know this is going to happen in artistic too.
She's fantastic.
I find clubs.
She's fantastic.
Clubs is like also such a great dynamic apparatus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quintessential rhythmic.
And it's quintessential rhythmic.
And her turns are so good. And the clubs just never stop.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
I mean, you totally get, like, the difference between her and Darja this year was not a drop, but like she had to reach for a ball.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, I remember.
And that was it. So this is Darja. Again, look for where she's covered up the flags on her leotard.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, I see it.
It's hilarious. So I think the thing I want to highlight here is the difference between her routine and the Russian turned German. Highlights that Darja is 17 and just turned 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That this is not sexy. Or it's not trying to be sexy.
This is playful.
It's age appropriate.
It's age appropriate.
Right, and she's had this routine these routines for 2 years. So she did this when she was 15. And I would not be uncomfortable with this in a 15-year-old.
No.
No.
Whereas I saw the other routine from the other Russian turned German and it was like, I need to know how old this girl is.
Yeah, because that was
that was like dance mom.
Her
fouettes.
Yeah, the other thing to know about that girl is the Germans do not give their citizenship chest a slack for athletes. So, and their language test is no joke. So she's committed to that. And I don't think she goes back to Russia if Viner did not want her leaving.
Her religion and
fabric is a lot.
I'm not like a fan of a lot of her Leos.
It's very almost
naked.
It's giving carnival.
It's giving carnival though.
So one of the things that I really appreciate about Rhythmic is that each routine has to have like a different tone.
Which is why some girls
offer clout music.
So since I follow the like German Fed's Instagram and hers, like for the last 2 months, I think she's taken a picture with every little girl in Germany.
Oh.
Like, it's just like, oh, here are 20 pictures of Darja with little girls who are very happy.
I love that.
So
I love that.
She, like, there's going to be a whole generation because of her.
And that's so good.
Like,
the growth of the
program is based on prosperity.
And I'm gonna, like, I know I've drilled this in, but this is what growing the sport looks like.
Yeah.
This is a packed arena in a major city where none of these teams are competing, by the way. Like, none of these teams are from this city.
Oh, and that was it.
That was it, yeah. So, that was basically it. There was a artistic Bundesliga women's match this weekend, which was the last one, but there's not anything really interesting from there because Stuttgart, which is the team that has almost everybody you've ever heard of, had already qualified for the final.
Mhm.
And so they basically rested everybody. And they lost, but they came in third in this like 8-team match, and it's a little bit like if you have a NCAA team that already has a bunch of good away scores, and then they just decide not like that they can take a weekend.
So like OU
losing against
like Rutgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because OU has decided to rest like everybody in their starts.
Yeah.
So like Kavrik wasn't competing, and the foreign gymnast they brought in was like some random Austrian and not like an Italian or a Brit. They usually bring in a like decent somebody you've heard of, but they brought in like some Austrian I've never heard of. They didn't even use Gothard on most of their things. They had, I mean, it was just like, it had, we give no fucks because we're already in the final. But Cologne, basically none of the people you would care about were competing in that meet, and I just thought it was kind of hilarious for that reason.
It's like C-string.
It's like C-string.
The people who wanted to make the final had already made the final, and the people who were not going to make the final weren't going to beat even, like, they weren't going to get enough points for it to matter. So that was it. I think we have like national team camp is this weekend. I don't think we're going to see much from it.
No, someone is going to it though.
Someone who does not wear much besides black and gray, I noticed from her luggage.
Yeah,
what's that about?
It was very black and gray.
Maybe
she just liked it.
But Gabby Douglas is going to U.S. national team camp. But don't expect much from it because it's not a camp they're going to do scores at. It's November. They're probably not going to do hard landings. There's not going to be any leaked video. If we see video, it's going to be released. So.
And I mean,
from what
we've heard,
she looks impressive.
I'm worried about the person who told you that information is a very glass half full kind of person. So that's my.
Oh my gosh, right.
That's my like caveat on that is like, they have a reason to know the information. It's just, they wake up on the bright side of life.
Yeah.
So do you have thoughts on the podcast interview?
Not really.
I mean,
she basically
she didn't say anything.
She basically said she was mad at herself and her own performance in Rio, and that's why she looked unhappy. And why doesn't she get to look unhappy? And she's right.
Yeah.
But it's also worth remembering that the Russians were setting up a lot of things on American social media in 2016, including attacking a bunch of American Olympians from Rio, lots of whom happened to be black. And I mean, it's no coincidence that the Fancy Bears went after all these black gymnasts' medical histories, or the black athletes' medical histories. So like
Simone's.
Like yeah, the American, like, crazy people treated her badly, but let's not forget that there are people playing at our country's worst instincts.
Yeah.
And
And
we have
rightfully
to
so.
And
be
rightfully so.
careful about that, and you are not, like, you and I are not immune to it either.
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all.
So try to be careful, and I want to, like, emphasize that with what's going on in the Middle East now, because there are people playing both sides of horrible things there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
So.
sucks.
and it sucks.
That was what I did want to add there. That, like, the Gabby stuff did not come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Americans can be spontaneously racist, and I'm sure they would have been, but
And they have been.
And they have been. I witnessed it yesterday.
Like in person.
Yeah.
I'll tell a story later,
but like it was wild.
Anyway, so I think that's it for the night. Thank you for letting me take you through what happened this week in gymnastics.
I adore you for that.
I mean,
we should really, as gymnastics fans, make an effort to like all gymnastics, not just artistic.
The only other news that came out this week that people might be interested in is that the U.S. Women's World Selection Committee minutes came out, so they explain why they picked the team they picked. And if you want to read that, just Google USAG Women's Minutes, and you'll get the directory that will give you all of the different committees. And it's worth a read because they spent like 10 pages explaining that team selection. And apparently they went through like 16 of the highest scoring teams and came to the conclusion that I think we all came to, that the highest scoring teams were going to ask Simone and Chiles to do everything and have the biggest potential drop off if there was an injury, and there were injuries at Worlds.
Yep.
So the highest scoring team might be the best solution, but it also might, but it's not going to be the best solution if it also has the highest potential drop off. And that's what that document basically explains.
It's a really interesting read too.
The other thing that might be interesting to people in that document is that there are slight differences in the requirements for the Pan Am's team versus team. Differences, you can be sure that's the U.S. Olympic Committee inserting rules, because Pan Am's was a team thing. And one of the things that people pointed out was that there was a clause in there about prioritizing someone who could be professional and positive and work with the team. And think about that as, you don't want to bring under Team USA guys someone who's going to be like rude to the locals. That's the, like, don't bring Ryan Lochte to lie about Brazilian people attacking him.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, you should, if you are curious about the way USAG is governed, they have all of these minutes online, and you can find them. Just search USAG Women's Committee Minutes, and you'll find them. Anyway,
Or it's on Twitter, or you can find them anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about them when they get published, but they also published the International Elite Committee minutes from this past month, but there's nothing there that's interesting, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a good day. Get some sleep.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Yeah,
night.
you get some sleep
Yeah, you
too.
get some-
Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for always being so incredible, Catherine. To you, the viewer, thank you for watching. Really quick again. So the next meet we'll be streaming is Northern European Championships. That is on November. It's the weekend of Thanksgiving. Essentially, it's the Friday after Thanksgiving all the way to Sunday. There's that, and then because I love you, and because I figured it out finally, I have made all of our past broadcasts available for free on Twitch. So if you can, I'd appreciate it. But you can watch them, and you'll be able to watch all the NCAA season meets there whenever you need to, or want to, or please to. What else was there? I think there was one more thing. I think that's it. Oh, right. If you're doing fantasy gymnastics, make sure you check out Gymnastics.io. They're back. You can go and draft your teams right now. I started drafting my team. Hopefully, do well this year like I did last year. Also, today we did Rates of Love, which was for this event we actually did a canned food drive in Lubbock Saturday and Sunday, so yesterday and today, and we collected a lot of cans. It was awesome. We had people playing Mario Kart and just having a great time at the Walmart off Marsh Sharp and Q. So that was awesome. I believe this coming month will be an event I'm spearheading. I did that with Big Mina and Double O Badger. Go check them out. They're awesome. And I believe this coming month will be the event I'm spearheading, which is playing for Palestine. And that'll be a whole thing. Trying to think what else. NCAA season starts next month, essentially. Be excited. I'm excited. And oh, right. A little birdie told me there's going to be a meet in Nashville, Tennessee, hosted by Fisk Gymnastics, at which 6 gymnastics teams with 6 Black female coaches will be competing at. Allegedly, it'll be Fisk, Talladega, Brown, Iowa State, William and Mary, and who else was that? Hold on, I made the graphic for it. Where's she at? And Rutgers. Yeah, so Talladega, Fisk, Rutgers, William and Mary, Brown, and Iowa State will be at this meet on MLK Day. So you didn't hear that here, but just a little birdie told me. Anyway, that does it for me. I'm exhausted. So if no one's told you this today, I think you're awesome. I think you matter. And if there's something in your life that you haven't been doing lately, like that brings you joy, like drawing or singing or dancing or whatever it may be, go do it. You deserve to be happy. Life should be more than just like a regular 9 to 5. Oh my gosh. And yeah. So I love you. Take care of yourself. Drink some water. Wash your ass. And wash your face. And take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one. Bye.